was ABC News, right, that kept, broadcasting so much. Well, it was the whole, let's have a whole primetime special. So all the networks are involved in that. But it was, interestingly enough, it was ABC News that had the producers that they sent over to work on this, like James Goldman. He was the former Good Morning America producer. And they were so proud of this. They were, okay, we get our primetime special. We're going to go after Donald Trump for this J6 stuff. But it didn't really work, right? I mean, think about what happened. They lost the election and midterms, that is, and then the J6 committee dissolved and Kinzinger went away. And then all of a sudden they came back with those phone records. What I was just telling you about, Arctic Frost, they had the phone records and they decided to go back and present those to the FBI. Something like 30 million phone records where they were gathering the metadata. You talk to this person who talks to this person. We figure out how long you were talking and we figure out where you were, etc. That is not okay. It's pretty bad, but it brings ABC back into the orbit. And right now, I think bosses at Disney's ABC are getting really nervous. They're really panicked. I know they're panicked because they actually scolded Whoopi Goldberg on live television just yesterday. She didn't really appreciate it. She didn't appreciate it at all. She started pulling a Nancy Pelosi, if you would, and she ripped up the document that they sent her because she said something that was incorrect. She tried to suggest that Donald Trump didn't know one of the people he was pardoning, and therefore it was an auto pardon. And they said, no, Whoopi, you can't say that. You see, she said too many things that are just flat out wrong, blatantly wrong, over and over and over and over again. You can go watch yesterday's show if you want to see them all, because I played them all, at least 5. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on all day. I mean, we got at least 50 in the hopper. But anyway, this is what she said just yesterday that got her in trouble. And I want you to watch as the note gets passed over to Whoopi Goldberg. Boy, she starts scowling. She gets mad and all of a sudden pulls a Pelosi, rips it up in front of everyone.
And the other insane thing is that when people are going to go to their meetings with the judge, the meetings that they're supposed to go to, when they're listening to, what the hell, what?
Okay, she gets it.
Sonny passes notes.
We don't know if Trump used an auto pen to part. It was a joke.
Yeah. We don't know if Trump used an auto pen.
Oh, come on.
But we do know that he didn't know who that crypto guy was.
Well, I'm sorry. The hardest thing about this job now is no one understands nuance. When you hear a joke, when somebody's fooling around, when they're not saying something specific, especially on this show. I'm very specific when I'm pointing stuff out. When I'm making jokes, when I'm making jokes. This is ridiculous.
Okay, but you see, and my thanks to our good friends over at, they've been around for 20 years, at Newsbusters for providing that clip. But you can see how nervous they're getting, because here's the reality of the world right now. She said so many things that were not true, so many things that were incorrect, that now the FCC is conducting an investigation into the entire network. And so this show has turned into a liability. So, okay, fine. It was a joke. And we can all take a joke, and I'm fine with a joke. The problem is a lot of your stuff hasn't been jokes. And again, I don't need to play a Whoopi's greatest hits, because if you watch the show on a regular basis, you know what they are. But you can go look at yesterday's show, because we played a bunch of them. I mean, the example of her saying, that Iran is a better place for a black woman to live today than the United States of America. Come on, all right? And then there's, this one, she keeps saying it over and over and over again. This was last week. She said it at least twice, that Donald Trump is going to stay for a third term. He's not going to allow anybody to run for election. He already came out and said, no, that's not the case. I'm not allowed to run. But this doesn't stop her from making this stuff up. And so now you've got a situation where even Time Magazine is all over this. Basically, everybody at ABC is terrified that The View is next after Jimmy Kimmel. So they got in the crossfires of the FCC. I can tell you the entire network is in the crosshairs of the FCC, because Brendan Carr, who now runs the FCC, is we have a lot of power and we're just not using it. Why aren't we using it? And you get all these crazy networks out there doing whatever they want. They're totally running wild. They have no sense of responsibility whatsoever. And so we actually need to exercise things like the 1933 or 34 Communications Act, which advise that these airwaves are set up for the public good and for the community. Now, if you are just spouting a bunch of nonsense, I'm all for free speech. Don't get me wrong, okay? But you can do that on cable. Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, you can take your show to cable. You can go do that on MSNBC. I hear they're pretty desperate right now. Rachel's ratings, for her one Monday night appearance, they're in the gutter. And the other one, poor Peppermint Patty, she needs some help too. So hey, Jimmy, I got a gig for you. Okay, you won't be out of work. They're spinning off MSNBC. Go over there, do your little show on MSNBC, and you can say all the nasty things you want about Trump all day long, and they don't even have to be true because it's cable. All right, you can get away with that. You can't do that on an ABC News platform. Not to mention, okay, it's network, but this particular show falls under the platform of ABC News. And I know that because at one point my agent called and said, hey, do you want to do The View? And I'm like, are you crazy? I wouldn't wish that show on my worst enemy. I don't even have an agent anymore. I don't need to deal with it anymore because it's just you and me right here. Okay, make sure you subscribe, share, like. Also, I put the Spotify channel in the chat link, and it's also in the show notes link. I mean, you got to start somewhere. I think we're at 14,000 and change right now in terms of subs. But, look, we've been there over here on YouTube, so I'd appreciate a little love. If you get a chance, go over there, give 5 stars. And you have to listen at least to a part of the show in order to rate it, but I'd love to hear from you. I do look at all of those comments as well as here. So my point just being, here's the deal. ABC's in trouble. Disney knows ABC's in trouble. ABC did everything in its power to help the Biden and then Kamala team try and win this election. I mean, going all the way back to making sure their producers were the ones that were running the show for the primetime special of the J6 hearings, all the way through to the debates, right? And then to The View, which just spouts lie after lie after lie after lie. I mean, I'm getting kind of sick of them. We had to hear the other day, how the ballroom is going to be paid for by you, the taxpayer. That was Whoopi's latest and greatest. So just so we're clear, the ballroom is being paid for by corporations, apparently not Disney, but everybody else is on there. You got Caterpillar, good old big American company. You got Comcast Corporation. That's, you see, Rachel Maddow's boss. Well, for now. I mean, they are getting spun off. You got HP on there. You got, Tether's on there. Tether, that's Howard Lutnick's. Gosh, the Lutnick family actually has something to do with this as well. You've got the Winklevoss twins. They were the ones that really got into Bitcoin. I mean, you got everyone on this list, okay? So all these corporations are coming forward and saying, we are going to pay for this. We're going to help pay for this. And yet, what does The View tell you? The View tells you that you're going to pay, the taxpayer. It's unbelievable. So they're nervous, they're scared, they're panicked. What do? They go out and say, we got to find a conservative to come on this show. Who could we possibly get to come on this show? Don't look at me. But apparently somebody else is quite willing. You know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is, right? I'm just curious. I want to see in the chat what you guys think about this, because, she's kind of been sort of straying. I mean, from sort of whatever Trump wants. It's not necessarily what Marjorie Taylor Greene wants lately, even though she says she's emphatically America first. And so going on The View and finding yourself in agreement with the ladies on The View, I'm just saying it's a little peculiar. But I want to know what you say. Let's watch this here together.
I think that all of us right here are doing a great job of exchanging our ideas and things that we believe in, and we're doing it in a very professional and kind way. And in my opinion, I think we need more of that in America. I really do. And a lot of people wanted me to come on the show and say nasty things and all of us to fight. They wanted all of us to fight.
Thank you for not doing that.
Oh my goodness, no. I didn't want to
around that. It's like 5-1.
She could handle it, but she didn't want to.
No, I didn't want to do that today because I believe that people with powerful voices like myself and like you and especially women to women, we need to pave a new path. This country, our beautiful country, our red, white, and blue flag is just being ripped to shreds, and I think it takes women of maturity to sew it back together. And I think that happens through free speech.
Yeah, I was just looking at everything that you guys were saying, and you're not impressed, right? A lot of you like her, but you feel like in Cat Crazy's estimate, she's pulling like a Candace Owens thing. Maybe it's for attention. I don't know. Maybe she wants a gig on The View. Maybe she's crazy enough to actually want a gig on The View, and maybe she thinks her political career is coming to an end. It could be. I've seen crazier things happen. Anyway, she actually even was advised by the ladies on The View to maybe consider joining the Democrat Party. Huh?
Well, I want to talk about MAGA voters who believed that the president made promises like lowering grocery prices on day one. Right now, grocery prices, inflation is up, soybean and cattle farmers are on the verge of bankruptcy. Millions have lost their food stamps and are about to lose their health care, while we're watching $40 billion to bail out Argentina. What is going on?
I don't know. I am so America first. I feel like I live it and breathe it. And that's my district, and that's what people want. They are so tired of their hard-earned tax dollars being sent overseas to foreign wars and foreign aid and foreign causes, while life in America just becomes more and more unaffordable. We want this money invested at home for our infrastructure, for programs, for our people, and most importantly, for my children's generation and their children and their children and generations to come. And I have to say, that's what I've campaigned on the entire time. Everybody's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene has changed. And I'm like, oh no, nothing has changed about me. I am staying absolutely 100% true to the people that voted for me and true to my district. And I am so angry when I drive around my district to all these beautiful little rural small towns. And there's manufacturing plants that are crumbling from decades of lost industry, small businesses that got shuttered during COVID lockdowns and COVID shutdowns. And you want to know something else, Whoopi? So many veterans that went over and had to fight in some war that really had nothing to do with where they were from or their hometown, and their lives and families' lives have been so affected. So for me, I am unapologetically America first, and I'll do anything I can to work hard to save
Maybe you
this
should
country.
become a Democrat, Marjorie.
No, I'm not a Democrat. You want to know something? I'll say this. I think both parties have failed.
Okay. Fair. I don't entirely disagree with that. And she had a good shtick, but I would say, like, when you get to the point where you find yourself just constantly agreeing with the ladies on The View, like, something's amiss, just a little something, just a little something. And I think you're forgetting about everything that's happened. And believe me, a lot happened.